Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is Loshak in the Bag Show, the afternoon version for Tuesday, November 28th. Jim in the Bag, of course. Jimmy and I, of course, are both off of extremely profitable days yesterday on Monday. So we are excited, but wondering if we can keep it going. We've given a whole bunch of picks in NHL and NBA so far. Now we've got the college basketball slate of games that we've had time to crunch, and I've made some bets on some of those games, and we will share those bets and maybe add some of them to our official slate of picks. We'll add some line move. We'll take a look at some line movements that have occurred since the morning show on our picks, and then we'll maybe add or take away some picks. We'll look at some comments and figure out if we feel like we're on the right side of everything, Jim. How you feeling, Jim?
I found this college card very difficult. I found this afternoon I was hitting my head against the fucking wall, and I was grinding my ass off. But Israel Williams, our man Israel Williams, says, I swear I like this show more than I like pussy.
Booyah! And Israel Williams. Media. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Larry doesn't like this show more than he likes pussy.
Yeah, Larry is not. Larry is another tech guy who Juanma's not behind the screen today, but Larry is there. Also a cool guy. Also a guy who kind of sharp with some commentary now and then. And yeah, thank you so much, Israel Williams. I live for that. Even if he's just saying it to be nice, I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
You know, I found this afternoon so fucking hard, and that gives me a little bit of hope and gets me going.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jimmy the Bag. Just because yesterday there was a small slate of games and you saw a bunch of plays that you like and you write about all of them doesn't mean you have to look at today's card and make a whole bunch of plays. You can pass in the entire college basketball card if you want. You can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's sometimes that, and sometimes a lot is another little bit of advice that I will give to you, Jimmy the Bag, in my many years of doing this. First of all, yes, I tend to be much better on Mondays than on Fridays. And secondly, I also tend to be better with shorter cards than I am with bigger cards. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I know what you mean.
Like, I'm not at all surprised that like on the Thanksgiving Day card for NFL, I swept the board, but that on an average NFL day, it's a little bit dicier. You know what I mean? Because I was sitting there, I was like, all right, I have to figure out where the edges are here. And when you really, when you're limited to what you're looking at, you can focus a lot better than when you have, a college basketball card of 50 games, and there's edges probably here and there, but you can't focus as well.
I feel you, and one of your nicknames is Totals Loshak.
That's right, Totals Loshak. Now I have my approach to handicapping totals is actually not so much affected by all of these focus and concentration sort of factors that I've discussed before. I can sort of just like look at a college basketball card and just knock off totals in game after game after game based on my approach. You know what I mean? But it's definitely like with NFL, if you give me, 3 games on Thanksgiving to handicap, I feel pretty confident that I'm going to come out of that day positive. But you give me a full Sunday card, to say nothing of a full college football card on a Saturday, it gets a little dicier, and it's exactly for that reason. Because there's so many games, you have to figure out which ones you want to focus in on, and it can be a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
I found, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, baby.
I found angles yesterday that I had very difficult time finding today.
But I guarantee you, and I'm not saying that you should do that, but I guarantee if you said, all right, if someone just randomly picked 8 games and said, here are your 8 games today, Jim, I guarantee you your take on those 8 games would be similar to your take on the 8 games yesterday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although in the back of your mind, you'd be annoyed. You'd be like, I bet there's 8 other games with even bigger, more obvious, But it's like, if you didn't know anything about the Yale-Delaware game yesterday, would you ever just pick that game out of a slate of 50 to be like, I'm going to look at that game and find an edge?
Yeah, it came through, and that was what bothered me so much today, was I couldn't get to every single game.
Talking to the converted, Jim.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. We have the makings of a great sitting to my left. But before that happens, there's going to be a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of
this was the most frustrated day I've had that I can remember having.
This is some funny shit. All right. Anyway, so let's get to the games. But before we get to the NBA and NHL cards, let's just quickly talk about the Xavier Baylor game, because that game goes off at 6:30, and it'll probably be after 6:30 Eastern time by the time we get to the college basketball slate, which is scheduled to go third today of the sports. So that one starts at 6:30. I was definitely looking at that. Definitely have a modest lean to the under at 146. Definitely have a modest lean to Baylor at plus 4.5. I mean, I think Baylor's for real. Obviously, Xavier's awesome. Blewit's awesome, which is why they're favored over a good team like Baylor. But my sense is that, probably the first half under, full game under, and Baylor on the full game plus 4.5 is probably where the shot. And this is another game that I have circled as possibly very good for second half value.
I think you're absolutely right. I broke this game down for a while and moved off of it. I want to take Baylor, but I feel like I just need to watch them play Xavier. They're both good defensively, even though Xavier hasn't shown it as much as I expected them to. Baylor controls the pace in an incredible way. And if I was to do anything right now, I think I would take the under.
Yeah.
Has it changed from the morning?
No, well, it actually got bet up a little bit from the opener. No, not from the morning, but from the opener it was 144.5, which is understandable because Xavier, of course, has been very high scoring, and they are a team, if you recall, Jim, that I believe I have given some official picks on them with like a team total over, the first half overs or whatever. This one I'm definitely leaning under. There is 146.5 available at Heritage and UWager, and the first half total is 68.5 or 69. It's also one of these. This is also one of these games where it could be looking like a solid, underplay up until the last 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden the barrages of fouling and threes come in, and all of a sudden it goes over. So, but I would definitely be leaning 69. You know what I will do? I'll make that one an official pick. I will take Baylor Xavier under first half 69 minus 110. I'll add that one on there, Jim.
I will take Baylor plus the points.
Okay. Why, you're reading some comments. People are saying Baylor's low-hanging fruit. That was identified. Some people had the opinion that it was low-hanging fruit in the morning show. I don't know if I would go that far, but I would definitely say that that the lean has to be Baylor plus the points. Probably going to go down to the wire, right?
I just love this Baylor team, and it's a no-balls play if I don't back it right now.
Okay, here we go. Jim's going to get Baylor plus 4.5. Unfortunately, no fives. I believe some fives are available during the afternoon, but we can give you 4.5 minus 104 at Pinnacle. How about that, Jim?
Taking it.
Okay, plus 4.5 minus 104, and I'm on the first half under 69 minus 110, which is available right now at where? Intertops, friend of the show, sponsor of the show. Thank you so much, Intertops, for providing the best line, if anyone wants to tail it, on the Baylor Xavier first half under 69. I don't necessarily love that one because, look, Xavier can score, you know what I mean? So it's just, is Baylor going to be successful in their attempts to slow Xavier down, which they might be, So I'm going to take the under first half 69, which is makes me a little bit nervous, but I'll take it. I mean, I bet it, so I may as well give it. All right, so we just got to that because that game does start at 6:30. So now let's move on to, let me just pull up the video here. What do we have? Let's see, just very, very quickly. Okay, we got... Let's see. All right, NHL. Let's move on to it, Jim. I did look at the line movements. You gave a bunch of interesting plays in NHL in the morning show. 3 of them moved in your favor. Nice job. 1 of them moved against you. Okay, it happens. And the other one didn't move at all. How are you feeling about those line moves?
I feel pretty good with everything. I was just staring at that Sharks Flyers game like crazy. I just find it a tough spot. Aaron Dell will be starting, I assume. We all assume that Martin Jones is still day-to-day with a lower body injury. And Dell isn't like your regular backups that I like to hammer against or fade. He's earned his spot in the NHL. He's a 29-year-old, gone from Alberta Junior Hockey, the University of Dakota, to the ECHL, to the AHL, and now he's here in the show and deserves to be here. 2.23 goals against, average .920 save percentage. I like him. But I think there's money to be made on this game, and I just find the Flyers a difficult team to figure out right now, and I'm going to leave it alone. I actually, surprisingly, am not adding any hockey picks to my card right now. Sure.
Well, I mean, you've looked at all these picks. So let's go over the picks that you gave that have moved in your favor. You gave Carolina at plus money. It was about plus 115 market wide when you gave it. We gave you plus 118 because that was the best line at Bookmaker. That has taken a big move in your favor. That's now all the way down to about plus 100. Pinnacle has plus 103. So that was about a 10 or 15 cent move in your favor, Jim. Nice job.
Yeah, I think that was a good spot. We saw that the backup was going to be in net, And Korpisalo, we bet on Korpisalo opening night. And I expected him to play better than he's playing, especially with a good defensive team in front of him. And that was a giant win over the Predators at home that Canes are coming off of. And again, they were sleeping in their hotel room when the Jackets were in a tough game with the Habs. So I think that's a pretty good spot.
Okay. You also gave the Islanders on the puck line, which actually about a couple hours ago had taken a 15-cent move in your favor. Now it's crept up a little bit. Vancouver taking some money, so now it's very close to where you got it. Okay, I can understand that. It's just Vancouver, as we've seen, has been playing well on this road trip, and at times had value as a big underdog on the road recently. At times that we actually recognized and bet into.
Yeah, and the stuff you said about the Canucks and the opportunity that arises with this big number makes sense. I get it. But I think that if I make a certain bet every single time that I find an edge, I will win in the long run, and that will be the Islanders at home against Western Conference teams. So I will make the -1.5 play every single time they play a Western Conference
very
team.
smart. That can be a great way to approach handicapping in a season. If you think that one team is going to have an edge in a certain kind of bet on their spreads or totals or whatever over a certain span of time, it can be the right move to just blindly bet that. And if you're right, you will win and not worry about each individual game where that's going to be the case. And especially that can be the case with teams that you think are with good teams that are probably going to be favorites that you think are going to have an edge overall, but on any given day, it's easy to talk yourself off of taking such a big favorite. Golden State Warriors can be a perfect example of that. I thought at the beginning of the year last year that Golden State blindly betting them on the first half would be profitable, and it was. But on any individual game, you're laying a lot of points, and you can talk yourself off of that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Especially when you have those games where, they're a 10-point favorite, and then they only win by 8, and you're like, man, was I making a stupid bet? So my point is that sort of approach, Jim, can be a very, very, very sharp way to approach handicapping, a team or a league long term. All right. In that game, though, I gave the over 5.5 -127. I was thinking about waiting until the 6 o'clock show. If I had waited till now, I could have gotten -110. Line has gone down. I mean, earlier in the year, Vancouver had trouble scoring, but recently on their road trip, they've been better. Islanders are coming off a low-scoring game, but they in general have been a high-scoring team. But the market appears to strongly disagree with my bet on the over at 5.5 -127, Jim.
I don't think I'd be overly concerned. We know that the Islanders can put up points and get goals, and that, as I said earlier on our early show, that 2-1 victory over the Senators was the first time all year they'd won a game scoring less than 3 goals.
Yes. Okay. You also let's see. You took what else did you take? You took Nashville at I think you got +205. That's now down to a +186. That was a line move that you beat by about 20 cents. A lot of people in the chat box in the morning were definitely agreeing with that play. And what was your other play? You also
the Wings.
The
Wings -1.5, and I can't get that with my local.
That's the line that moved against you strongly. That is now not even a minus line because now the Kings are the favorite. Actually.
Yes.
All right. It is what it is. And then what was the other? And there was one other pick you made that was where you beat
the
line.
over 6 Stars Golden Knights.
Right. That one hasn't moved at all. But no, there was one other. There were 3 lines that moved in your. Oh, right. Okay. Right. And then the other one. Okay. So that's it. You got 5 picks going tonight, Jim.
Yeah. I feel good about this hockey card. I always feel good when I've got way more plus numbers. I find the Friday card that I got destroyed with, I had a lot of -110s and -125s, and I found success with the plus dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim the Bag. All right, so my picks, I also took the Dallas Vegas first period over. That one is not moved. I did take the Toronto Calgary first period over, and the full game on that one has gotten bet up. It's now 6 -120. Few places, Bookmaker and Heritage, are now hanging 6.5. So clearly people expecting, the market is expecting high scoring in that game. And I also took the Arizona Edmonton over, and that one has also gone against me. I think I took it at -110 or 115. I forgot what I got it, but it's now actually slightly juiced to the under. I understand that Edmonton has had problems scoring this year, but no one talked me off of it, so I went with it. I think but you disagree that at some point they're going to start scoring a little bit better.
Not until they make a roster move. The Camilleri thing was a fucking joke. Now, the Strome brothers are facing off tonight. If Ryan, the older brother, who was a 5th overall pick in 2011, can start playing better, he scored the game winner for the Oilers versus the Bruins, he would be a big shot in the arm. They need somebody to step it up, and nobody's doing it, and they're slow and plodding. And
yeah, I actually got it at -109, so it's taken a small move towards the under. I guess I'll just ride with it, but that's smelling like a loser, right, Jim?
Yes,
be honest. Come on.
I just with these two teams, it's the Coyotes. The volatility is ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. So that makes me like my first period play at +155 on Arizona a little bit more. Hopefully, if Edmonton doesn't score this game, then Arizona will find a way to win the first period. All right. So overall, I think I'll be okay. A couple of line moves against me, but time and time again, I've said it over and over again that these line moves tend to, feel like they're as wrong as much as they're right. I know that long term that is actually not the case, but that's definitely the way it feels, especially with the NHL totals. All right, is there anything else you want to add, or shall we move on?
No, we can move on. There's a couple comments saying that the Sharks are a really good play tonight in hockey. I think they might be too, but I'm going to leave that game alone. And we're leaving alone the Panthers at Rangers. Now, the Rangers have looked pretty good without McDonough. And the Panthers outshot the Devils 31-10 over the first two periods in their game versus the Devils. Luongo called it the best 2 periods they played all year. But being on the second half of a back-to-back against the rested Rangers squad is the reason why I'm not jumping on the Panthers.
Yes. All right, so some interesting comments here. Garrett Blaze says, I'm with Peter. I'm okay with volatility at a +172 money line. Yes, I'm actually okay with my Arizona first period bet. I'm not so super okay with my bet on the over, but okay, I will. I'll have to just deal with it. Winky Pop says, Jim and Pete make me believe in true love. Once again, thank you so much, Winky Pop. A bunch of questions about football, which we will get to in a bit, maybe in the wrap up part of this. But here we go. Rem Most says, I'm telling you, Buffalo team total under 2.5. It's money. Now I brought this up in the morning show. I was like, Buffalo's struggles are for real. Tampa Bay's recent struggles on the road, just 2 games worth. Is Tampa Bay going to come back in here and get a big win? Because if they start scoring, they'll get a puck line win. If Buffalo can't score at all, probably Tampa Bay gets a puck line win as well. Maybe the Buffalo team total under 2.5 is worth a shot. What's your take on that game? It's just a pass? Well,
the Sabres are like the Cavs are for me in the NBA. I can't figure out the Sabres, and I keep losing with them. I can't, I saw the Sabres play last year because it's only an hour and a half drive from Toronto, and Okposo was the best player on the ice. He looked so good on the power play. He was hitting hard. He just looked like the prototype for a power forward, and he's got 3 goals and is a -11 this year. I just can't figure it out. I can't figure out how they're 30th in the league in power play. I can't figure out how they're last in offense. I figure the blame has to go to the defense. They must not be making outlet passes. I know that Ristolainen was out for a while. He's back now, but I can't figure it out.
Okay, so it's a total pass for you.
It's a complete pass.
And what would you think if I took Tampa Bay -1? You think that would be risky or defensible?
No, I think it would make sense. Now, they're coming off back-to-back losses. They've lost 3 of the 4. They have to step up. Their coach is demanding that they step up and not, mess up this beautiful cushion that they've created for themselves. So
the Tampa Bay coach is demanding that they step up?
Yes, he had a big he was very upset with their last 2 losses.
Really?
Yeah.
You researched that?
Yes, I could give the quote too.
Now that makes me think that you would see that and be like, all right, Tampa Bay is the play here.
I think that the Sabres at home I can't understand why they're this bad. And I have the NHL network package. I'll be watching this game and trying to figure it out. But if I keep losing when I bet for or against the Sabres, I'm just going to leave it off.
I'm taking Tampa Bay -1, Jim.
I like it.
I'm taking it. Tampa Bay -1. The money line part of that is -165 at the Greek. -165 at the Greek. And let me find the puck line part of that for Tampa Bay. The puck line part of that will be, let's see, plus 175 at the Greek. So that's very, very slight plus money on Tampa Bay, +1. And yeah, if the Buffalo team total under hits at under 2.5, probably the puck line at least pushes, right? Probably, right? I mean,
Yeah, and back to your Oilers bet. Adam Booth says the Oilers season is on the line. Chiarelli held a press conference today. Lots of trade rumors. He says Oil might not win, but they will score 3 or 4.
And that's what I was thinking, actually. That's what I was thinking. I was looking at the spot. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was looking at the spot and I was thinking, I don't necessarily think Edmonton's gonna win here or be a good play at -200, but I do think they're gonna show up offensively, and I think Arizona's gonna do their part as well. That's part of the reason why I like that, actually. Great point.
Yeah, Adam is great point, Adam. And my man Ibrahim from Norway said, what up? My dick grew as wide as Dwight Howard's shoulders as soon as I got the notification for the Late Show. And
There you go.
Agreeing about the Canes pick.
SBR hires up. The guy's dick grew as wide. What did he say?
As wide as Dwight Howard's shoulders.
Grew as wide as Dwight Howard's shoulders when he saw the notification for this show. Okay? Just keep that in mind, SBR hires up, and SBR ownership and SBR press, okay? Just keep that quote in mind when you're thinking about if Jim and I are doing a good job. Like, I don't know, are Jim and Pete doing a good job? I don't know, this guy's dick grew as wide as Dwight Howard's shoulders when the show came on. Yeah, someone likes it, right?
That is one giant dick, Ibrahim.
Comment of the week. Comment of the week award goes to Ibrahim from Norway, from Finland.
From Norway.
From Norway. God, let's visit him. He could probably hook us up with some nice Norway ladies, right?
You're right, but let's only visit him when he's not aroused.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a danger.
Pretty scary. All right, okay, let's move on. Great quote, great comment. I'm definitely on Tampa Bay -1. I would agree that the Buffalo team total under is probably a play. Although, if you notice, remember yesterday we said that the Blackhawks were low-hanging fruit, which obviously they were. But then we were also thinking, well, what if, because it was predicated on that they're going to way outscore Anaheim. And we were thinking, well, maybe the Anaheim team total under at 2.5 would also be a good play, but it lost, right?
It lost, yeah.
Smart of us to stay off that one.
And I think any time that we're questioning something, if it's a minus number, fuck it.
Yeah.
If it's a plus number, hammer it.
All right, I'm on Tampa Bay -1. And again, it's all about the line, right? If they lose, I lose a unit. Okay, that's what happens. That's what sports betting's all about. All right. So,
one quick thing, my man Arthur wanted to ask about what we think about the Nashville over in this game.
Well, what do you think, Jim? You like you like Nashville on the puck line, so presumably you think there's going to be at least some scoring from Nashville.
Well, the reason why I have pause is they played twice already this year. Both games were 2-1. Blackhawks are very embarrassed about that 4-0 sweep. I don't think there's going to be a lot of room on the ice. I do like the Predators here quite a bit because Blackhawks played last night, but I'm not convinced after the first 2 times watching these teams play that there's going to be a lot of goals. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Jim the Bag, let's see. Is there anything else I was thinking about that you were thinking about? Not really. It was just the over in the Leafs Flames that I was thinking about. Yeah, that's right. That I was thinking quite a bit about. And have we seen any line movement on that? It's moved about 10 cents in favor of the over. But again, interestingly, the first period total has not moved much at all. I got it. It's actually gone down a little bit. Wow. I got it at -123 at Pinnacle on the morning show. It's now -119 at Pinnacle. So the full game over has gotten bet up. The first period over has actually slightly gotten bet down. I don't agree with that or understand it at all, but whatever. Strange. Yeah. That's very strange. I am going to stay away from the Flames in their first game back on a 6-game road trip. Okay. Yeah, same deal with the Dallas-Vegas first period line. It was -123 when I took it in the morning, and now it's down to -117 at Pinnacle. I don't understand it, and I don't agree with it. But let's move on. What do you think? Yeah, let's move on. All right, let's move on to NBA. Jimmy the Bag. Of course, yesterday I swept the NBA 4-0, and I think you went 5-2 plus 3.5 units because one of your winners was the money line first half on Detroit. And in tonight's card, just 5 games. Jim has just 1 pick, Utah -1.5, and I have 2 totals. One of them moved in my favor. One of them moved against me. The Cleveland Miami under, which I said that I liked for sure. Wow, actually now it's going back up again.
It was 207 about more funny shit. That's okay. You can just laugh at that. This isn't that important. The Cleveland total is now right where I took it. Almost. I got it at 209.5. It's now back up to 208.5 or 209. It was 207 about an hour ago, so that's not a good sign right there. But then again, on the other hand, the Milwaukee-Sacramento game, which I bet the over on at 199, was all the way down to 196 about an hour ago, and now that one's up to 197 or 197.5. So, whatever. Micro line moves in the NBA. I'm on the under in the Cleveland game, and I'm on the over in Milwaukee-Sacramento.
Yeah, I do have a pick that I'm going to add,
Okay.
but Michael Ervelina's back in my Jazz spot. Says Jazz have won 6 in a row in Utah against Denver. And then what got me was my man Yasamo Takahashi says, I'm from Brazil and don't understand shit about hockey. Follow you guys mostly for the NBA and NFL, but you guys are funny as fuck. Unfortunately, my dick is not as big as Howard's shoulders.
There you go. Great comment. Thank you so much, dude from Brazil. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the positive comment.
And there are ways to grow that dick.
Yes, there are, supposedly. All right, so what do you want to do? You do want to add?
I'm adding the Timberwolves -5, I believe.
Okay, yes.
Teague is still a game time decision, but he doesn't even really need to. If he can go, that's great. But Tyus Jones couldn't be more excited about getting another start. He and Towns have developed a very close friendship off the court. And, they have a special bond on the court and off the court. And Butler is starting to score more. That's a big deal. He's averaged 20.2 in his past 9. John Wall is a big loss. And I just don't think Tim Frazier is good enough to handle the job. They've lost 4 of their last 5, including both games that Wall missed. 5 points is not so easy against a team like the Wizards with Otto Porter shooting so well and Bradley Beal shooting so well. But I'm going to take the Timberwolves at home. And the Timberwolves have fucked me in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. They're not a very good fourth quarter team, but that is been changing a bit of late, and I need it to change more because they've had some real bad fourth quarters lately. About a week ago. So, but I'm going to add it to my official picks.
All right. Well, the line has moving in Washington's favor, so good job on waiting on that one. In the morning show, you would have had to have taken 5.5. It was 5.5 or 6. Now it's 5 or 5.5 across the board, so you can get Minnesota -5, -105 currently at Pinnacle. The Greek does still have 5.5. So nice job, Jim. You beat the line the line move or your weight on the line move in the morning show was the right decision, and so you're getting a good line. And the Greek appears to still have a lean in your favor at Minnesota -5.5.
Yeah, I'm into it. Now, not everybody is. Matt Sicardi says Tyus Jones looks like my ass. That's not really a sports comment. Caleb Shirley says Wolves will cover and Denver will cover. Delta 7575 says Nuggets not the same without Millsap. Cody Brown wants me to grow a mustache.
Right.
And JP Fahey says, man, I love this 6 p.m. show. Best thing SBR ever did. Plus, it's another hour of the night I get to ignore my girlfriend.
There you go. JP Fahey, thanks so much. MGTOW, everything's going great. SBR Brass and higher ups, listen to these comments, read these comments. Justin Biggie says, I need a bigger dick. How do you do this? LOL. It's not really a sports comment either, actually. Oh, shit. All right. Okay, so let's see. What else? Some other comments. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I thought that was going to be a sports comment over there. All right. Looking for, Talib Shirles says Denver will cover. Let's see. Now that the Bucks are -5.5, I kind of like that number. Yeah, I mean, Milwaukee, what's up with Milwaukee? I mean, they were they've been terrible ATS recently. Again, as we mentioned in the morning show, Sacramento coming off the big win against Golden State, but that was not a one-off deal for them. They've been good ATS over the last 5 or 6 games. And, considering how overvalued Milwaukee has been recently, just because they're in a salty mood and looking to bounce back, should they be laying 5.5 or 6 here to Sacramento? Feels like the Kings are getting too many disrespected here.
Yeah, I think they are too. And we broke down this because I like your play, right? You have the over.
Yeah.
I think that's a good play. Is that, we're seeing they've moved George Hill from the point to the 2. De'Aaron Fox and Frank Mason are handling the ball a lot more and running very fast and up in the speed. I think you are in a nice spot there. And the Bucks, Eric Bledsoe comes on, supposed to add offense, and 5 of his 8 games they've scored under 100 points.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just saving the chat so I can get all these great comments just in case they get deleted. Does the chat save if there are comments going on while it's going? How does that work?
I don't know.
I think it does. I don't know. Here we go. Bookie Lover Q says, "Hit the like button, you bozos." Yeah, bozo is one of the popular words in the chat. I believe that was who was that? It was not Conrado Mendoza. It was someone from New York who started using the bozo word that I said I like so much. All right, and then the only other issue is Miami and Cleveland. I said I was leading Miami plus 4.5 earlier, but a lot of people say that they really like Cleveland. I'm on the under on that one. That is now down to 4 or 3.5. So some pretty significant money coming in Miami. What do you think about that, Jim? That's interesting.
It's interesting, but I get it because we've seen how bad Cleveland's looked on the second half of back-to-backs. Now we're expecting that this is a different team that's stepping up, and so we're expecting more from them. But in the past, if we're just judging by their back-to-backs, they've looked really bad.
Yeah, and the play that I really wanted was to take Miami on the first quarter at plus 1.5. That's now down to 1. 1.5 is not available. Everyone just seems to be thinking that LeBron is in a multiple game statement mode here, and until we see that it's clearly dying down, we should either be betting on Cleveland or pass. Do you think that's accurate?
I don't think that's accurate. No, I think that Miami is in a nice spot here. They're rested. They want to prove to the league that they're a real team in the Eastern Conference, and they're playing against two members of their team that have left them that are superstars. So my lean is Miami, but everything I do against the Cavs is costing my wallet, so I'm just leaving it.
A lot of disagreement coming in on the chat box on this one. Spencer Singleton says Miami, easy play. Lee Davis says no, it's either Miami or pass. But Caleb Shirless says take Cleveland ATS. Miami is not trustworthy enough. LeBron is the greatest of all time. Will not lose to them. He just won't. Okay, they are getting a bunch of points, but yeah, I got to be thinking. DK says, I'm on Miami, either Miami or pass. Yeah, a lot of disagreement on that one, as there was in the, Lee Davis says 79% are on the Cleveland spread, but line is moving in Miami's favor. You know what I'm going to do? I will take Miami on the first quarter. I'm getting a little bit cute. Someone said I was getting too cute with that in the morning show, but I will take it. I will take the Miami Heat on the first quarter. +1, -103 right now is the best line right now at Pinnacle. Miami first quarter, +1, -103. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I think I get it.
LeBron is the greatest of all time, but he might be like, I'll wait till the second quarter or the second half to turn it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and now that they have a second unit, LeBron can play a little differently.
Yes.
Doesn't need to force it in the first 12 minutes.
All right, I'm on it. I'm on Miami first quarter +1, -103. It is worth noting that the 4.5 that I was thinking about earlier, we were all thinking about it and debating it, is now gone. It's now 4 or 3.5 market wide. And in the meantime, Sacramento, it's now down to 6 or 5.5. There was already some 5.5s there. All right, I just want to get to some more NBA comments just to see. Let's see. If Whiteside, Israel Williams says if Whiteside plays 30 minutes, Miami wins. Yeah, I mean, look, Miami's a team that I'm in general looking to bet on right now. They've been good ATS recently, and I like their pieces. Right, Hassan Whiteside now coming back, getting his stamina back. That's a beat.
Without the excuse of a knee issue, even though maybe that's what Spoelstra is thinking, resting the knee. I expect Whiteside must have some issues upstairs because he's a monster that should be playing 35 minutes a game and getting 20 rebounds a night, and he seems to do that whenever he chooses to. It would be quite frustrating if I was a big Heat fan.
Right. Actually, Devin Turcott says Cleveland is 0-9-1 against the spread at home, and I made a mistake. The lines crossed in my head. In the morning show, I said they were 0-9-1 to the under at home, which is not the case. They are. I think that I forgot what they are at home. They're like 50-50 in terms of their totals at home, but they are 0-9-1 against the spread at home. All right.
Bookie Lover Q has an interesting point. He says Wade and Braun will not lose to Riley and Spoelstra. I live in Miami.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Olnick is getting too many of his minutes. Israel says too many of Whiteside's minutes.
That's why I'm taking the first quarter. You know what I mean? I mean, you're getting points, so Miami could. All right, so, and a lot of people are talking about that line. Here you go. Yisamo Takahashi says, like Miami, but would only take the +5. +3.5 is too short. And someone else, Corey Jean, says, I took Miami at +6. So obviously that's much different from 3.5 or 4. And it feels like in a game like this, those points are really going to matter. It's going to come. I can see Miami. I can see, the Cavs being up by 5 with like a minute to go, and it's a coin flip there. And if you got 6, you're looking good. If you got 3.5, you're looking bad. All right, I'm on Miami on the first quarter, +1. That's it. And I think we can move on.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so let's see. Now let's move on to college basketball. A huge slate of games. Huge slate of games here in college basketball. I can't even remember what games are. Let me just refresh my mind here. I mean, the big games obviously are the Purdue-Louisville showdown. I took a shot with the over on that one. I know that Louisville can play great defense, and they played last year, and it was a very modest scoring game. But I did take a shot with the over when when Purdue is not being held down by a good strategy. The games go over. And so I did take a shot with that one. I'm not sure if I want to bet that one. I can't even friggin' remember what my picks are. Let me just pull up my spreadsheet here with my picks. Jim, what have you found? I know it was very frustrating for you to look at all these games and try to find edges. I know you wish you had like 100 hours in the day where time could just stand still, and then you could come in here and break down all 40 of these games with nice edges. But you only had 8 hours or 6 hours, however long you had. What did you find for us, Jim?
I did find some stuff. Also, with the Louisville game, Spalding was hurt last game and is probable. I don't know how that will affect your thought process within this game, but that is concerning. Okay, well, I have some picks, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to go with the one that excites me the most. That's probably going to take a lot of abuse, and I'm not afraid of the abuse that this is going to take. I'm taking South Dakota State plus points. I think that Jackrabbits Junior forward Mike Daum will give Ole Miss all that they can handle. He's averaging 19.4 points per game and 8.4 rebounds. Ole Miss's leading rebounder, Marcandis Hyman, is 6'7". Daum has 30 pounds on him. He's 30 pounds heavier. And Ole Miss's tallest players, they don't even see the floor. David Jenkins Jr. is hitting 49% of his threes. When he misses, Daum will be on the glass. I'm getting plus 10, more than 10 points on this game, and I'm going to take it.
Okay, it is 10.5 or 11. It opened at 8.5, so a strong move in favor of Ole Miss. But the Greek has plus 11, minus 110. That's an interesting game because Ole Miss, we always speculate about if a team, has a couple nights in Vegas or a couple nights in LA, how does that affect them? And of course, Ole Miss had a series in Vegas just recently where they had a sort of a lackluster performance, and the coach openly admitted and said, I think it was because the kids were just hanging out in Vegas and it distracted them in the first game.
Well, I mean, he's got to find excuses,
Yeah. That was one of the games that I was going to take, not on the side, but that was a game that I was going to take on a total. And I do like the first half over on that one. I got it at 73. Hopefully that is still available, and it is at where? Intertops.
Wow.
What's that?
Great stuff.
What happened?
Okay, first, my man Maxwell Smart is doing so well, says, I fucking love that pick. Ole Miss is guard-oriented. And then Big Man on Campus comes in and says, in my opinion, Mike Daum is the best player in the country. Daum, by middle of senior year, will be the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history.
Wow. Best player in the country. Is that really? Wow. Okay, the strong words from Big Man on Campus. Well, that's great to hear. Jimmy the Bag, look at that. You give Jimmy the Bag a few hours, he comes in with a friggin' sharp play. All the people whose opinions we respect all come in and agree with him strongly. Very, very nicely done, Jimmy the Bag. I'm going to take the first half over on this one, 73 minus 110. Intertops.eu has the best line right now. It's split line, 73 or 73.5. Intertops has 73 minus 110 on the first half over. I'm taking that one. Ole Miss and South Dakota State, first half over 73. That's a play that I'm liking pretty solidly.
Yeah, I get it, man. Big Man says, one of my plays tonight is the over in this game.
Yes, I like the over too. It's gotten bet up a little bit. I think it's now 156.5. I would not, or actually DSI is 156 and the Greek has 156. I like the over as well.
Sorry, is he talking about San Diego or South Dakota State? Sorry, it's right. Yeah, so he's got the over in this game. He says the four guards will destroy South Dakota State's defense, and Daum will get his. Yeah, I like the over too. I just took the first half over because I think it's a little safer, but I like the over as well. And probably combining those two plays, the South Dakota State team total over might be worth a shot as well. That would be just like 73. Wow, Big Man says, gun to my head, Jimmy, I think you're on the right side. 89-81 type game. Right.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm liking the over. I definitely like the first half over. I bet that one. The South Dakota State team total over would be just like 73. Let me check where that is at Heritage right now, but that might be worth a shot as well, Jim. What do you think?
It might be worth the shot, absolutely.
All right, let's. Great, we're rocking and rolling here. We got Big Man on campus joining us, commenting and endorsing and giving us insights to all this. We got all the usual commenters, some of whom go to these universities, which is great. What else do you have for us, Jim?
I'm going to take Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
This is a tough spot. Josh Okogie still suspended, but Tadrick Jackson is back. Now, Northwestern can't defend the perimeter, so it's too bad Okogie's not here. They've been allowing 41.4% from three. With Okogie out, Northwestern senior guards Lindsay and McIntosh will be a tough guard. But 6'10 Yellow Jacket senior Ben Lammers will dominate inside. Northwestern's bigs are no match for him. Vic Law and Derek Pardon simply cannot bang with Lammers. And I'm hoping and expecting that dominance inside to lead the way. As I've noticed so far in the early part of the season, the teams who can instill their physical advantage have been winning most of the games, other than when teams shoot 60% or something like that.
Right,
so I'm going to take Georgia Tech.
Okay, that is a game that I have circled as second half all the way. I don't even think I picked it, let alone bet it. The line is moving in Northwestern's favor, though, and there is a 3. Heritage now has 3. It's 2, 2.5, or 3 market wide. So +3 -110, and those points might actually matter, Jim. So Georgia Tech +3 -110.
Beautiful.
All right, not concerned about the line move, huh?
I am concerned about it.
Right. Okay, what else do you like here, Jim?
I'm taking Wake Forest over Illinois. They're really missing John Collins. They've already lost to Liberty and Drake, 2 schools that are out of Ken Palm's top 150. But Bryant Crawford shooting 37% from the field and 29% from 3. Keyshawn Woods averaging 17 points per game. 7'1", 280-pounder Doral Moore will have only one player on Illinois that's within 50 pounds of him. And that's Michael Finke at 6'10", 235. I just think that Illinois hasn't been tested this year, and Wake Forest will be that first test. And Wake Forest, 2-4, they have to come out and win this game.
Okay, it's 2.5 or 2 market wide. Heritage and the Greek both have 2 right now, so we can give you that one -2 -110. Wake Forest. All right, Jim. The issue here is just like there's like a whole bunch of bets that I made, and I don't. They're all about the same. There's none of them I love. All of them I like a little bit. I don't know which ones to give or which ones not to give. Let me just review. Yeah, I definitely like the over in the South Dakota State Ole Miss game. I definitely like the over in Utah State and Valparaiso a little bit. Jim, I know you follow Valparaiso kind of close. Did you get to look at that game or not?
I did get to look at it, and my man Maxwell is all over this game. I think it's a good spot for Valparaiso, but he got it last night at 6.5.
Okay,
much better spot than 8. Bakari Evelyn and Devon Walker, a very good 1-2 punch at guard. We know that Valpo has size and a deep bench. But, man, Utah State was very impressive in close road losses to Gonzaga and Portland State. They went home and easily handled a couple of weaker teams. Now, McEwen is questionable for the Aggies, but I don't think that's too big of a deal. I just think the Aggies are too small. The 2 natural centers on the roster barely play. I don't know how they will handle the Crusaders' 2 7-footers. Will Utah State be looking ahead to their game against BYU? I think this is a good spot for Valparaiso. I'm uncomfortable with the line at 8.
Yeah, the line is 8, and I was thinking about the over on that one, and maybe on the first half over as well. First half over would be 65.5. Full game over would be 140. Or 141, and both those I like a little bit, but if I gave both of them, I'd have to be doubling up. I kind of like the over. I guess you don't have any thoughts on that, really, do you?
I think there's going to be buckets.
Yeah,
I really do. I don't think that the Aggies have the size to stop Valpo, so I think Valpo will have their way. But Utah State can score, and they were scoring with a team like Portland State, who can score very easily.
All right, I'll take the first half over. It is 65.5 -110. I wish there was a 65 available, but there's not. 65.5, 110 everywhere. I'll take that one. Utah State, Valparaiso, first half over, 65.5, 110. I'd be leaning on the full game over as well, but I guess I will hold off on that one for now. And if that one goes to 64 in the first half and then soars over in the second half, whatever. I'll be annoyed, but that's that. Let's see. What else was I thinking about? I don't know if you looked at this one, but where is it? Charlotte against Davidson. Davidson has had some pretty bad games recently, ATS-wise. Why would Charlotte be getting this many points? Someone must be out for Charlotte. Did you look into that?
I did look at this game. This was such a hard game to figure out, man. I just banging my fucking head against the wall. And Xavier's up 18-6 on Baylor early.
Wow.
The line didn't make sense, and so I was trying to figure out why it was that, and it was just very difficult to get information. I don't know if anybody in the forum can help us with that.
Yeah, or big man on campus, because I was definitely leaning Charlotte on the first half, even a little bit more, but it's definitely concerning that the line is where it is and headed up. It's now up to 9, so someone must be suspended for this game for Charlotte. It's now headed up to 9. Let's see, Brown playing Rhode Island. Of course, that's an in-state rivalry. I usually tend to lean Brown in these spots. Rhode Island has a very strong complement of guards this year, but Brown's getting 20, so I'd be leaning that one. I was also leaning over, except that one has gotten bet up by 10 points since the opener, so I'm going to hold off on that one, thinking about the first half over as well. Chattanooga playing Akron. That's another interesting game. Akron's good, but I'm not quite seeing why Chattanooga should be getting 8.5 points here, and the total is modest. Obviously both these teams are kind of modest scoring, but leaning to the over on that one as well, and the first half over on that one as well. And then Florida State is playing Rutgers. Rutgers obviously a slow-down team. Florida State is a fast-paced team, and my sense is that Florida State will be able to dictate the pace here a little bit better than Rutgers. Rutgers will be willing to play a faster pace, and I'd be leaning over and first half over in that one as well. Do you have anything to say about any of those games I just brought up, Jim? Really.
Delta 75 says I'll take Brown plus 20. Thinks that's a good spot. For a final move, if I was going to make one more move, I think I would take Florida State in their game versus Rutgers. 5-0 Florida State provides Rutgers their first real test of the season. And they're 7-4. Kumaji has not played the last 2 games, but is not listed on the injury report. 7-0 freshman Ike Obiaju will likely be called upon to bang with Rutgers 7-footer Shaquille Dorson. And this 6'9" Canadian freshman from my neck of the woods, where I've been living the last year or so, looks like the real deal. Leads the team in rebounds with 6.2, and then Phil Kofer, we know that he'll be by his side. Florida has a lot of length and athleticism and is very good defensively. And the Seminole guards, Mannon and Gola, will have no problem with the Scarlet Knights starting backcourt of Baker and Corey Sanders. Let's see if any notes on here. So Big Man says no injuries that I know of. Delta 75 says the Miners coach quit. Big Man on campus says Brown plus 21 was close for me. Brown
right.
Pick and roll offense, slashing style, put him on the line a ton, will allow them to hang around. Matthews is out for Rhode Island. Providence on deck too.
All right, I was actually going to, before Big Man said that, I was going to take them on the first half, but since Big Man said it, I'm now going to take them on the first half and feel less conflicted about it. First half plus 12 minus 108. I'm on it. Brown, first half plus 12 minus 108. I was also thinking about taking Charlotte on the first half plus 5.5, and also the Detroit IPFW game is kind of interesting. Detroit, it's probably going to be a high-scoring game, a super high total. Big Man, I know you look at these minor schools. Should Detroit really be giving double digits here, be getting double digits from IPFW? Thinking about taking Detroit plus the points, Charlotte on the first half. Definitely thinking about Chattanooga plus the points and the over in that game. I also kind of like Iowa, mostly because I don't like Iona this year. I'm kind of thinking about Ohio in the Ohio in the first half minus 1.5 at Pinnacle. Definitely thinking about the over in the Florida State Rutgers game, and thinking about and that's about it for now. Does Big Man have anything to say about any of those games? Big Man, love to know what you think about Detroit getting double digits against IPFW. Love to know what you're thinking about Chattanooga getting 8.5 against Akron. And I would love to know what you're thinking about Ohio, because I think I'm just kind of not... I don't like Iona here. I took the under in Iona's game at Syracuse. I thought they were going to struggle against Syracuse, and they did. And I think that Ohio probably on the full game and the first half is a good play here. See if Big Man has anything to say about that one or any of the other very knowledgeable commenters in the chat box. If anyone in the chat box happens to go to Ohio or Iona or any of these colleges, please chime in.
Well, Big Man says Detroit is very weird right now. Coach is basically being suspended and no one knows why. I really like Detroit offense. They can run with Fort Wayne. Coach being out, no real leader.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. That's a tough one. Let's see. Triple Beam says Toledo can supposedly score, but not in the Fieldhouse, baby. Yeah, I got very burned taking Toledo at Cornell recently, and that was not a good pick. And Kansas is just. There's some years when Kansas looks vulnerable and they look like they're overvalued and they're a good bet. Given points and all that. This does not look like one of those years. Kansas is steamrolling people, and they have just sick talent on that, even with the guys out for Kansas. So 25 is just not enough for me in terms of to bet on Ohio.
Yeah, Kansas looks awesome.
Yes. Justin Biggie says, late show is aces. At least I can watch live in Australia. Justin Biggie, if you can hook me up with an Australian wife and Australian citizenship, I'll be your best friend for life. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. What else do we have here?
So I am going to add Florida State.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've decided to add it. I can get 4.5.
Okay, and let's see.
That's enough for me. But while you're checking that out, Big Man Campus says, I like Iona. Off 9 days.
Really
needed it. Iona can exploit Ohio's lack of front court. Iona is way better than they played.
You think
the
so,
little
huh?
break they've had.
Okay. Fair enough. Duly noted. Jim's going to take Florida State minus 4.5. Best line right now is 110 at a bunch of places, the Greek and Heritage and BetDSI. Okay, minus 4.5, minus 110. Jim's on Florida State. Let me quickly check the first half. Yes, and I will take the first half over in that one. Rutgers, Florida State, first half over. It is 65.5 or 66. And I will take 65.5 minus 110 at Bookmaker and UWager. Over 65.5 minus 110. I know what Rutgers likes to do, and they'll probably be somewhat successful with it. But considering Florida State's preferred style of play, if Florida State can keep the pace, a little bit brisk for half of the first half, I think it probably goes over 65.5.
Yeah, I agree. I think Florida State will slowly wear them down with their athleticism.
And a Big Man, do you have anything to say about Chattanooga-Akron? That's an interesting game. I'm definitely thinking that even though the total is low, it might be a little bit too low, and definitely thinking that even though Akron is good and should be the favorite here, points might be a little bit too high. Big Man, do you have anything to say about that one? Because I'll tell you what, I am going to add Chattanooga-Akron first half over 62. Do you remember one of my winners recently was the South Carolina FIU first half over? Do you remember that, Jim?
Yeah.
Super low total, and I was like, why should this total be so low? And I bet it, and I picked it. I gave it as a pick. I did not, would have been a no balls play if I hadn't given it. Went soaring over, right? I'm going to take Chattanooga and Akron first half over 62. That's at BetOnline and SportsBetting.ag and Intertops. Thank you so much, Intertops.
Yeah, and Big Man on Campus says no real opinion. Toledo isn't that bad, but Kansas is on fire. I love them long term. Toledo could get run here.
Yes. I was actually asking about Chattanooga-Akron, Big Man on Campus. If you can give any thoughts on that one, that would be great. All right, anything else you want to add here, Jim?
No, those are my official picks for this evening's card.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna review all the added picks from everyone. While I'm reviewing the picks, Jim, why don't you scan the comments, see if there's any important comments that came in recently that we should get to. Then I'm gonna give a once over to the college basketball card to make sure there's nothing I'm forgetting that I wanted to give. Maybe convert some of my no balls plays and more no balls leans into actual picks. Wow. UWager just dropped to 65 on the first half in Florida State Rutgers. Well, I missed it. I already locked in 65.5. So look at the comments, see if a Big Man has any or anyone else has any comments that might shed some late light on any of this.
Corey Jean likes Akron minus 8.5.
Okay. So the picks that everyone that Jim and I have added in today's show, Jim has added Baylor plus 4.5 minus 104. In NBA, he added Minnesota minus 5, and other college plays were Georgia Tech plus 3, Wake Forest minus 2, San Diego State plus 11, and Florida State minus 4.5.
South Dakota State.
What did I say?
San Diego.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah,
South
no
Dakota State plus 11. Yes. Sorry about that. I have added in NHL Tampa Bay minus 1, in NBA Miami first quarter plus 1, and in college basketball I gave the Xavier first half under 69, Brown first half plus 12, Rutgers first half over 65.5, Valpo first half over 65.5, Ole Miss first half over 73, and the Chattanooga Akron first half over 62. And those are all the picks that we have added. Any interesting comments that came in the
Big
last
Man
minute?
says, hey, Peter, you'd be proud of me on getting Northwestern Georgia Tech over 128.
Wow. Okay. That's a game. I looked at the side. I looked at the total. and I wrote it off. Not that there aren't any edges, just that I definitely didn't feel like I was seeing them, and that's a second half game for me. That one has second half written all over it for me. Yeah, obviously sometimes these games where there's two teams that are obviously very low scoring and the total is very low and gets bet down, the over can be the play.
Yeah,
easily. A lot of times in those situations. All right. Any other comments? Let me just quickly scan down everything. Yeah, Detroit, that's a lean, but I guess I will hold off on that one for now. Charlotte, that's a lean. I'll look into that. Maybe I will take Charlotte on the first half. You know what? I will do it. I might get burned, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take Charlotte first half plus 5.5. And let me just find that best line there. Charlotte first half plus 5.5, and the best line will be minus 110 at a bunch of places. The line move does not make much sense to me at all, but I will take them just on the first half, plus 5.5, minus 110 against Davidson. The Appalachian State VCU game, very interesting. We didn't discuss that. Brown, Rhode Island, I would also have a slight lean to the over, but I'll pass on that one. Iona, Ohio, an interesting game. Thank you very much for a big man who likes Iona in this spot, thinks that they have not played as well as they actually are. So maybe if a big man is right, Iona will have value in upcoming weeks. Florida State Rutgers, I'm on the first half over. Yes. And let me see what else was I thinking about. That's about it. The Radford-Vanderbilt game is definitely very interesting. Radford is pretty decent, and Vanderbilt has been a little bit sluggish recently, giving Radford 15 points. I was thinking that maybe Vanderbilt can have a strong home court advantage. So that can be a tough place to play. But I was thinking maybe Radford plus the points, or Radford plus on the first half plus the points. Utah State Valpo I gave on the first half over, and I guess that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Young Abu Dhabi wants to know about Virginia Tech or St. Louis.
I did not look into that one, but I will look into that one later on, and if I have a play on that one, I will tweet it out.
Yeah, there's a couple more games. See, I've got my live show going on in an hour where we can also add bets and add calls to our cards. So.
Big Man's going to give one more opinion. Thank you very much, Big Man. Really appreciate it. Big Man, for anyone who isn't aware of it, right now is currently a human torch in college basketball.
He's running hot.
Human torch. Not just running hot. Human torch.
Vern Tapper says NCAA Charlotte is definitely a solid pick for the half.
Oh, nice. Yes, listen, I like it. Again, it's one of these situations where it wouldn't just be a no balls play if I gave it, because there's also line movement going against me. But sometimes, as we've seen many times, the line movement is not necessarily right, and I feel confident enough to take it. Let's see. Washington looks really intriguing tonight. That's a late game. Kennesaw will have a ton of trouble scoring. Washington should get their zone figured out. They are massive compared to Kennesaw. Okay. Wow. Damn. Small Thrill says, thanks for all you do, Pete and Jimmy. Your input is very helpful. Much appreciated. Really, really appreciate it. Let's see. Nick 427PC says, "Oh, nice. I grabbed Washington at minus 15 earlier. Wow, is Washington only a 15-point favorite here? Where is that line?
Yeah.
Now, wow, 15.5 market wide. Very nice. It opened at 14. That might be a great play there. Big Man on Campus, thanks so much for that little tidbit of information. Again, that strikes me as probably the right side there.
It makes sense.
A team like Washington against a team like Kennesaw, that is not a high line. Damn. And Washington's at home. Wow. Surprised that line is so low. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kennesaw had a pretty big game recently that surprised a lot of people, and that's why the line is smaller than it probably should be.
Absolutely. You know what else I will do? I will also throw on the over, the full game over in the South Dakota State Ole Miss game. I have the first half over, and I do think that one way or another this one's going to get over. I will take the over 156 minus 110. So I am doubling up on this one, and if it doesn't go over, I'll have to eat 2 losses, but that's okay. I like it enough to double up on it. It's 156.5 or 157, but BetDSI and the Greek both have 156 minus 110, so that's a line right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I doubled up on that one. Anything else that Florida State Rutgers game is down to 139 at Bookmaker and Heritage. All right, I'm taking, and a U-Wager, I'm taking that one. I'm taking the full game as well. I just don't see it as being as modest scoring as, I understand that Rutgers slows shit down, but I think against Florida State, they'll test to see how they can do in a more of up-tempo game. I'm going to take the over on that one. Full game, over 139, minus 110. Rutgers in Florida. I'm on the first half already. The line is headed down. I don't quite agree with that movement. So at U-Wager and Heritage right now, it's 139 minus 110. So I doubled up on that one as well, Jim.
I love it. Let's get paid tonight.
All right, let's get paid tonight. Now I think we can wrap the show up. It's about the 7 o'clock games are about to tip off. Thanks so much to Big Man on Campus for coming in and giving all of his invaluable insights into these college basketball games. Thanks so much for Jim for doing as much research as you could possibly squeeze into the time between the morning show and this afternoon show. Thanks, of course, last and mostly to all the commenters for all the positive comments, all the funny as hell comments, and of course, all the very insightful comments when it comes to shedding light on possible betting value with all these lines. Thanks so much to everyone. We will be back tomorrow morning at 12 o'clock Eastern time for the Wednesday card.